What if one comment could ignite a firestorm across the entire golf world? What if a single opinion could divide players, fans, analysts, and tournament organizers almost overnight? That's exactly what's happening right now. A growing controversy has exploded into one of the biggest debates golf has seen in years, and it isn't centered around a controversial ruling, a missed putt, or even a championship-winning shot. Instead, the spotlight has shifted towards something that many believe could shape the future of the sport itself: the behavior of golf fans. For generations, golf has been known as a game built on respect, discipline, patience, and tradition. Unlike most major sports, golf developed a unique culture where silence is often as important as skill. Fans are expected to remain quiet during swings. Players rely on concentration. Every shot can determine the outcome of a tournament. That atmosphere has long been considered part of what makes golf special. But now, many people are asking a difficult question: is that culture disappearing? The debate exploded after a respected golf analyst made comments that immediately sent shockwaves through the sport. During a discussion about recent tournament crowds, he argued that fan behavior had crossed a line. According to him, certain spectators were creating an environment that was becoming increasingly harmful to professional golf. His criticism wasn't subtle, it wasn't cautious, it was direct, emotional, and impossible to ignore. Within hours, social media erupted. Supporters praised him for saying what many people had been afraid to say publicly. Critics accused him of attacking passionate fans who simply wanted to support the game. Golf podcasts exploded with debate. Television panels devoted entire segments to discussing the controversy. Former players weighed in. Current players were questioned repeatedly. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion. And that's when things became even more complicated. Because this wasn't simply a debate about one tournament. It wasn't even a debate about one group of fans. It became a debate about the future identity of golf itself. To understand why emotions are running so high, it's important to understand how dramatically sports culture has changed over the last decade. Across the sporting world, audiences have become more engaged, more vocal, and more influential than ever before. Social media has transformed fans from spectators into active participants. Every reaction can become a viral clip. Every moment can become a meme. Every controversy can spread globally within minutes. Golf has not escaped these changes. In fact, some would argue the sport is experiencing one of the most significant cultural transformations in its history. Traditional golf fans often remember a different era. They remember tournaments where spectators whispered rather than shouted. They remember crowds that saw themselves as guardians of etiquette. They remember an environment where players could focus without distractions from thousands of voices surrounding them. Today's tournaments often look different. Modern crowds are larger. Social media content creators are everywhere. Fans record every moment. Reactions spread instantly online. And the atmosphere can sometimes feel closer to other major sports than the golf tournaments many longtime fans grew up watching. For some people, that's exciting. For others, it's alarming. Those competing visions are now colliding in a way that has created one of the most intense debates in professional golf. What makes the controversy especially powerful is that both sides believe they are protecting the sport. Those supporting stricter crowd standards argue that golf's unique identity is under threat. They believe excessive noise, constant distractions, and attention-seeking behavior undermine the traditions that made the game special. They worry that if the trend continues, golf could lose something fundamental. Their argument is simple. If golf becomes identical to every other sport, then what makes golf unique? On the opposite side, critics of that viewpoint argue that change is inevitable. They believe younger audiences engage differently. They argue that enthusiasm should not be confused with disrespect. According to them, passionate crowds create energy, excitement, and memorable moments that help grow the game. From their perspective, golf cannot survive by resisting every cultural change. It must evolve. And that's where the conflict becomes fascinating, because neither side sees itself as the problem. Each side believes it is helping golf. Each side believes it is preserving the sport's future. And that belief has made compromise increasingly difficult. As debate intensified, former players began sharing stories from their own careers. Some recalled competing in environments where silence was almost sacred. They described moments where thousands of spectators remained completely still during critical shots. Those memories became powerful examples used by traditionalists who believe golf standards are slipping. Other former players offered a different perspective. They pointed out that controversial crowd behavior isn't new. Every generation complains about the next generation. Every era believes things were better before. According to these voices, golf has always evolved, and today's concerns may simply represent another stage in that evolution. Meanwhile, active players found themselves caught in the middle. Some admitted that crowd noise can occasionally become distracting. Others emphasized that elite athletes are expected to perform under pressure regardless of circumstances. A few carefully avoided taking sides entirely. Their caution revealed just how sensitive the issue had become, because no matter what a player said, somebody would be unhappy. Tournament organizers faced an equally difficult challenge. Modern sporting events depend heavily on fan engagement. Crowds generate excitement. Excitement generates viewership. Viewership generates revenue. Revenue helps grow the sport. Yet organizers also have a responsibility to ensure fair competition. Finding the balance between those goals has become increasingly difficult. Too much control risks creating a sterile atmosphere. Too little control risks encouraging behavior that many consider inappropriate. Neither outcome is ideal. As the controversy continued growing, some observers noticed something even more significant. The debate was no longer really about one analyst. It was no longer about one tournament. It had evolved into something larger. A cultural battle. A battle over competing visions of what golf should become. One vision emphasizes tradition, discipline, and respect. The other emphasizes accessibility, entertainment, and growth. Both contain valid arguments. Both have passionate supporters. And neither side appears willing to surrender. That reality helps explain why the conversation has become so emotional. People aren't merely arguing about fan behavior, they're arguing about identity. They're arguing about values. They're arguing about the future. And whenever those issues collide, controversy becomes inevitable. As weeks passed, every major golf event seemed to generate new examples supporting both sides of the debate. One viral clip would show disruptive behavior. Another would show enthusiastic but respectful fans creating an incredible atmosphere. Each side used those moments as evidence. Each side became more convinced they were right. Social media amplified everything. Algorithms rewarded outrage. Strong opinions spread faster than nuanced discussions. The result was predictable. The controversy grew even larger. Many analysts now believe the sport has reached a turning point. The decisions made during the next several years could influence golf culture for decades. Will tournament organizers adopt stricter crowd policies? Will fan expectations gradually change? Will technology create new challenges? Or will the controversy eventually fade away without producing major reforms? Nobody knows. But one thing is clear. The conversation has already changed golf. Even people who never considered crowd behavior before are now discussing it. Players are being asked about it. Broadcasters are analyzing it. Fans are debating it. And sponsors are watching carefully. Because whenever controversy dominates headlines, everyone connected to the sport pays attention. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the entire situation is that there may not be a perfect solution. Sports thrive on passion. They also require structure. Too much of one can damage the other. Finding the right balance is incredibly difficult. That challenge exists across nearly every major sport. Golf is simply experiencing its own version of the struggle. The difference is that golf's traditions are so distinctive that any change feels especially significant. For many longtime fans, preserving those traditions feels essential. For many newer fans, modernizing the experience feels equally important. Both perspectives come from a genuine love of the game. Yet that shared passion has not reduced the conflict. If anything, it has intensified it. Because the people arguing most passionately are often the people who care most deeply about golf. And that means this debate is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Every future major championship will be examined through this lens. Every crowd reaction will be analyzed. Every controversial moment will be debated. The spotlight is now firmly fixed on the relationship between players and spectators. And that spotlight may remain there for years. So where does the sport go from here? Can golf preserve its traditions while embracing new audiences? Can tournaments create energy without sacrificing respect? Can fans express passion without creating distractions? Those questions remain unanswered. But their importance continues growing. Because beneath all the headlines, arguments, and social media battles lies a simple truth. Golf is changing. The only real question is how much change the sport can absorb while still remaining true to itself. And until that question is answered, the controversy will continue. The debate will continue. And the entire golf world will keep watching. Because this story is no longer about a single comment. It's no longer about a single analyst. It's no longer even about a single tournament. It's about the future of one of the world's most iconic sports. And that future remains very much undecided.